So he was also still sending stuff, still trying to hook up with hygienists within the office as well.
Yeah.
One of which told a story to his old partner that he started sending her the love notes and the flowers and then sent her a bouquet of roses. And in the center was a dildo.
Yeah.
And Larry and his lawyer say that he never did that.
He never did that.
But I believe that it did happen.
100%. That is an incredible idea to send a dildo bouquet. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
What an original, creative,
Absolutely.
disgusting idea.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's so fucking gross.
Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And we are all over the place this week.
Again.
Again. School's back in session. Work has been nice and busy. So we're recording on a different day than we normally do.
Yep.
But that's all right. We have a few things we have to talk about this week. We had of course, we've been watching Bachelor in Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just kind of go over, I think, our big opinions about the last episode. And then also, the bombshells are back in the reunion for Love Island. I was so excited that they were doing this because I really wish they had done it last season. I don't think they did it last season.
Mm-mm.
And I love Andy Cohen, and I'm excited. Anything with more Ariana, I was about it. How did you feel watching the reunion?
Well, I was honestly really nervous. I had a huge pit in my stomach going into watching it because I thought this is just going to be more bullying. Nobody's going to take accountability for anything. Mm-hmm. And, because of course they've been out of the villa for a month and a half. Everybody's on social media. They're all posting videos. They all have opinions about each other, and even more so now that they're not there. And I thought, oh, this is going to get ugly. Yeah. And, Andy being there, I thought, okay, he's going to be a little bit more of a mediator. Not that Ariana is not, but there's two of them there.
Right.
And I thought, okay, this is going to be good. And I really, yeah.
Like, he knows how to deal with mess.
No, if he can deal with Jax Taylor.
Right.
These kids are 20 years old and Jax is 45. So
right.
Anyway, I thought I had a big pit in my stomach, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty bad.
Oh, it was not pleasant. It was not a fun reunion to watch.
No, it was difficult to watch, but I was proud of Huda as a Huda fan.
I knew you were gonna love Huda. I have to say, I did find the video where they pulled out Chelley and Huda having the conversation about Huda bringing back Chris.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering, because how much do we not see?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Saying, oh, it's for you. And we
hours
didn't really
and hours,
see that,
yeah.
But we had heard her say it over and over again. We had heard Chelley say it over and over again.
Yeah.
So we assume that that's what that's going to be. Huda, I feel like, was really redeemed in that moment.
Absolutely.
And Chelley looked like an asshole.
Yeah.
And speaking of looking like an asshole, what was Ace wearing?
Oh, some green velour something. I don't know.
With his big glasses, he just looked like a little nerd, and that's not who he is. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the end of this made Chelley and Ace look like idiots.
Yeah.
And just jerks.
Yeah.
In the end.
And I think even Olandria did not come out looking too pretty either.
I think that Olandria, because she's
Team Chelley all the way.
Team Chelley so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So like that part I think tames her, but I think overall, who's the winner of all of this Amaya Papaya won. But is she really winning? I think Nick and Olandria are the ones that are coming out on top at the end of this season. Like last season, I would say, even though it was
Leah and Miguel, Serena and Cordell, yeah.
Serena and Cordell won. I would say Leah and Miguel won, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones that are ending up the best out of all this. Yeah. I think that Nick and Olandria are the ones that are going to end up on top at the end of this. And if anything, this reunion just made everyone look worse to me. Like people that I didn't necessarily have negative feelings about. Now I'm like, ooh, I can't believe I spent all that time watching them.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that I cared about this. I really didn't care for Austin at the end of all of this. I really didn't care for Jeramiah either.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Did you hate Jeramiah more after all this?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Him trying to explain and or clarify, I don't know what the right word is, with that whole love bombing thing. It was not going well for him. Not making him look better.
No, I think it's this issue with semantics again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, technically you were not love bombing. The real word that should have been said is, or phrase should have just said that he wasn't there for the right reasons. He wasn't genuinely there to find love. He was doing this to increase his social media standing. The whole thing was weird. I didn't care for that. I don't know what was going on with Belle Dash.
That was weird. The whole thing was weird with her. Kind of like, I just wanted to turn the page and not really. Why were you there?
Like a lot that they covered that I was like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah.
This was 2 seconds. The drama between Brian.
Andrina, yeah.
Andrina, gorgeous. Love her. I actually really do like her. But like, what was the point of talking about that? Who cares?
Yeah.
And then what I really think is telling is that at the end of this, Brian and Amaya, apparently Brian's been cheating on Amaya and it's over. Yeah. And she's like, he's a piece of shit, but don't bully him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen her social media.
Yeah.
She's gonna, in the end, I think, come out great.
Yeah.
But there was so much that I wish. I sent you a video. There's so much else that I wish they had talked about.
Oh,
that they did not talk about.
Yeah.
And I found that really irritating. I will also say, you're a big Huda fan. I'm not on Team Huda, but I enjoy watching her.
Yeah.
I also think that she didn't answer the what's your relationship status. I can't talk about it because of Netflix. There were a lot of questions that she just refused to answer. Like she just avoided all of them. And I think she did it incredibly well. So like, she's like, I feel like she wants to move on from this. Like all of this was so awful for her and put her in such a bad light that she's like, and I am moving on. We can talk about it, but you know what? I'm better now. Like things are better now. I'm over it. I look back and laugh and it's like, that was a month ago. And she's like, yeah, I've really grown. I'm like, okay, good for you. The show that I think she's going to be on Netflix, I watched another season of it. I can't remember the name, but it's just the reality stars finding love from all the different love shows. And then they get together and start dating each other. And I'm assuming that's what this is.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be great on that. And I will be watching her happily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think she's also a little bit messy. I do think that in the end of this, especially with the reunion, Chelley looks like the asshole. So in that part, she was hopefully vindicated.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really upset with, Andy. Andy was really bothering me, especially when he would address Huda or talk to Huda. He didn't mock anyone else. He didn't name call anyone else on that stage, but he mocked her and he name called her.
What did he call her?
He called her Hurricane Huda. He didn't say Huda. He didn't say her name. He called her Hurricane Huda the entire time. He didn't say that to anybody else. He called her a single mother. She's not a single mother. The father is in their lives. Mm-hmm. She has a relationship with the father of her child.
Yeah.
Andy is a single parent. Mm-hmm. Andy does not have a mother for his 2 children. Andy Cohen needs to be called out to the carpet. Andy is a single parent. Huda is not a single parent. Andy clearly does not like Huda.
No,
and he
didn't even hide it. And he went after her a couple times.
He did. And it was very grossly, intensely put out there in front of everybody, and nobody said anything. I was very disappointed in Ariana that she did not stop it, that she did not call anybody out on it. People continued to bully Huda. I mean, Chelley and Olandria trying to point the finger at Huda and her 6 million followers, calling the 2 of them racist. That is not Huda's problem. And the fact that it came out that it was Chelley's followers that did it, not Huda's followers in the first place.
Oh,
yes.
Shit. Okay.
It was Chelley's followers in the first place that did it. But they were wanting Huda to apologize and put out a post and really went after her for it. You know what that is? That is complete jealousy, because the fact that Huda has 6 million followers and they have 2, literally 2 followers, nobody wants to watch those 2 women on social media anymore. Do you know why? Because they're friends with a racist. They're friends with Sierra. The person who got kicked off the show is a racist, and they're seen out in public with her. The 3 of them.
They're still hanging out with Sierra?
They're still hanging out with Sierra.
Oh.
The 3 of them bullied Huda in the villa, and they're still being seen with her. But then they're calling out Huda for not telling her followers to not be racist towards Chelley and Olandria. I don't think so. Nobody stopped any of that.
That they were done with Sierra. It seemed like Nick was really, really done with Sierra.
Yeah.
When they were talking about that. I didn't know that Olandria was still doing anything with her.
They're still BFFs. The 3 of them are still hanging out. And it is disgusting to watch. It's disgusting to be talked about. And it is not Huda's fault. Now we know for sure it's not Huda's fault. And Huda should not have to do anything about it. Is not her problem what people on the internet do that follow her at all. It is not her problem.
My point with the Amaya Papaya part, where she's like, she can't express herself without also saying, but don't bully him. I get that if you have a platform, it is your responsibility to use that platform in a positive way. But I don't know that I agree with, and this is just in general, I don't know that I agree that, like, you need to take a stand publicly about every fucking issue.
Correct.
Because I also think, like, in general, not everyone is well educated enough to, or versed in the subject of, like, having an opinion on, like, global conflict or the economy. And not everyone can have a conversation about that as a whole and get it done correctly. I don't want to hear how Amaya feels about certain political issues, because I think that's a lot of pressure to put on these people.
Correct.
And as much as, you know, I think Huda could have put a post out there to say, like, I'm not okay with this, blah, blah, blah. It's also not her job to stop all of these people. And Huda saying that isn't going to stop all of these people from doing that. And no one's going, I haven't seen anything from Huda about not doing that yet, so I feel like I have a green light.
No.
I don't think that's fair that they put that on her.
No.
I did a little bit see what Chelley was talking about when we saw the full version of the heart rate challenge. I didn't expect to see Huda lick Ace's pants.
Did you expect to see Chris licking Chelley's genitals?
In her thighs. Right. It was going both ways, though.
It was the same exact thing. So Chelley needs to shut the fuck up.
I think Chelley not being also upset with Chris and everyone going, well, it's consensual, it's consensual. It's like, well, was it? The only one that I think got it right was Iris, where she was like, we didn't have a good enough conversation. Everyone said it's fine, but then there's all of these unspoken standards that we've put in there, which suddenly that doesn't mean it's consensual anymore if there's all of these assumed things. And that's exactly what Chelley said. She's like, well, it's an unspoken like agreement. It's a thing that you can assume. It's like, no, that's the whole point, is you're not having these conversations.
Correct.
And you're angry at her because you didn't have that conversation. Huda did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Exactly.
And Shelley's upset at Huda, but she's letting Chris do whatever he wants.
She's letting Chris lick her genitals, which is exactly what she's claiming Huda did to Ace.
Right. I mean, they both did. We watched them both do it.
Nobody cares at this point. Nobody cares.
She's continuing to bring it up. I just don't see how this is all going to shake out. This just is so different from last season, which was epic.
Yep.
And so great. And then this one fell short so intensely.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone feels anything but a little bit disappointed by this season.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I'm hoping Ariana can save next season. Not that it's her job, but I'm like, I love Ariana. I want next season to be better.
I love Ariana too, and I was honestly disappointed that she did not speak up in any sort of fashion at all, anywhere in any of those conversations at all. I
don't think she's a Huda fan either.
At all. Well,
I don't think she liked Huda. And she's there with Andy, and I think she's letting Andy take the reins. I just kind of got the vibe that like she was just going to follow whatever he was doing.
Well, the way that the whole flow went was absolutely disgusting, and nobody else was treated like that at all except her. No one.
Who else? I also just have to make Vanna, justice for Vanna, but also she was completely, I don't think Vanna said anything the whole time.
Yeah. Vanna
said nothing. And then you've got Austin, who actually was like, sorry, I was spaced out. What?
Oh my God.
Austin. So Jesus Christ.
So funny.
There were just too many people there. And like most of the conversation meant nothing to me. I was not interested in most of what they were saying. And I was a little bit frustrated with the content of how that all went. So I'm glad it's over. And just about everyone's broken up.
Yeah.
And already been cheated on. No one's getting the spinoff. Okay.
Paradise.
And now we gotta Paradise.
Grown up people, but not so grown up.
No. Okay. I don't want to go through the whole thing. But like, I do really want to talk about, so I am assuming that the glamping situation, was that what the old Bachelor in Paradise was actually like? Is that what it was?
No, but that's funny. Yeah.
I thought it was so funny that as they're putting it together, they had they send them all out glamping, and then they have to put a tent together, and there's awful bugs and everything. I thought it was genius that they took parts of the tent out on purpose.
I know.
And like they needed a hammer, and they gave them the tiniest hammer ever. I thought that was so funny. That makes me really love the show.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I thought that was really funny, and I loved that the Goldens were like, whatever, it's all fine. And they were boop, boop, boop.
Yep.
But I also think, for the most part, other than like Jeremy, most of these people are like not outdoorsy people. That's just not their vibe. Jeremy was like, we got it. I got it. Put it all together. I'm used to this. But I think most of those people, including the dudes, are not go camping, put together my own tent, spend the night outside kind of people. And I say that as I don't want to go put together a tent. I've done it before. I mean, we're Idaho people, so you go up into the mountains. But I loved watching everyone fight, but also not fight. But again, Kat is my MVP. I love watching her melt down. I felt genuinely horrible for her in this instance because I didn't realize how intensely she really hated bugs. She had a full panic attack.
Yeah.
I started to go, are they going to take her out? They need to get her out of, this is too much. This is too much. But it made me actually like Dale because I had really fallen out of love with Dale. And now I'm back to like, okay, he actually was really there for her. They had the therapist watching all of it and giving her 2 cents about everything and scoring everyone. What did you think about her input?
I loved every second of it. Yes, especially Andrew and Alex.
That's the one I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Because I was like, there's
what
nothing about them.
What am I watching?
Like, I'm falling in love with you. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
I feel like
this is gross.
Pressured to say this.
Yeah.
Is exactly the vibe I got. And we're like, I don't want to feel pressured to say it, but we are on this show and we are trying to win money. Yeah. It will be based on other people's feelings.
Andrew in the beginning did not like Alex. He said that over and over again. He wanted Bailey. I think he still wants Bailey. I think, he's just settling with Alex because she's just left over. Everyone in the room can see it. A freaking stranger walks in, watches them make out, and goes, ugh, there's nothing there.
I mean, they disagreed on how you kiss. They're
know.
Talking about kissing, and she's like, ew, tongue first? Which also, I get his argument. Yeah,
I couldn't see it. Was he literally like doing that? I couldn't see it very well on the show.
I don't think he was being gross about it.
I didn't think so either. But
I don't see them as a couple. Here's my question.
No, me
Old
either.
Bachelor in Paradise, would they just go home now? If they're like, we're not going to... Because they would
No, they do.
Engaged.
They do overnights. So they would be... kind of like the glamping, they would spend overnight together to see if, they would just do an overnight together. They wouldn't go home.
But no, I mean, like, would they just break up? Because they're not like,
right. They would break up. Yes. Correct. Yes.
But they're hanging in there for the cash.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're pretending that they're not hanging in there just for the cash.
Right, right. So if they were, a glutton for punishment, they'd go all the way to the end. Alex would think that Andrew was going to propose to her. Andrew would not pick out a ring, show up, and she would be like, "Where's my ring?" And he's not getting down on one knee, and he would look at her and go, "I don't want. You're not the person for me." And she would melt into a puddle. That's probably what would happen if this was a normal Bachelor in Paradise.
If she made it all the way to the end.
If they made it all the way to the end without the money, that's exactly what would have happened.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I gotta switch now to Keith. Do you think it's okay that they kept Keith around? Like, Keith really misses his girls. He really misses his family. He's so homesick. He's ready to go home. He doesn't feel good being there. And then everyone ganged up on Keith and was like, "Keith, we love you and we need you." And Jonathan's meanwhile like, "I'll take your trash. Do you want me to bring you a fresh drink?" Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Anything I could get you?
Yeah. See, here's the thing. With the money involved, yes. It was a good idea to kick off Jonathan and Lea. Mm-hmm. Yes, with the money involved. I feel bad for Keith. They know that, Keith and Kathy are not going to win any challenges. They know that. So keeping them around, they're not a threat. They're keeping them around for selfish reasons, of course.
Yeah.
But if the money was not there, of course they would have been gone weeks ago.
Oh, Keith. I felt bad because in my head I'm going, now he's missed his camping trip with his daughters. You assholes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Spencer and Jess?
I mean, they didn't really have... I can't remember. She didn't really have anything to say. I mean, what was it that she said? Their drama
was... He's like... let's have a baby in 2 years. And she's like, no.
Yeah,
I mean. There yet. And he's like, are we going to move in? And she's like, my lease is up in 2 months. That's way too soon to move in. I think he's farther along than she is.
Yeah.
I don't remember their ages, but he's ready to do all the things. And she's like, I'm not quite there. She's like, I want to get pregnant by the time I'm 30.
Yeah.
And he's like, 30? That's much later than I was thinking.
Yeah. So she's got to be farther away from 30 than he is, I think.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. If a man is in love with you and a man is saying all those things to you, yeah, what are you doing? Just do it. Just do it. What are you doing? You need to do those things. I don't understand. Or she needs move in with him, have a kid. 9 out of 10 men are not going to say the things that Spencer is saying.
It's true.
They're not.
But see, and I'm devil's advocate here.
They're
I think
not gonna
she's
do that.
honoring herself. She needs,
and that's
she's
fine.
Not ready.
Then she needs to break up with him. She's being selfish by staying with him. She's just hurting him by staying there. She needs to leave because she's already made up her mind that she's not going to do these things that he really wants to do. And he is very adamant and really wants to do these things. And she's already made up her mind that she's not going to do. She needs to leave. She needs to leave the man alone and let him go find someone that will do that. She's selfish.
But then
they're
they're like, but look at how amazing and patient he's being. And they're like, look at how great he is.
And
so he needs to go, I can't actually be patient. I got to peace out.
100%.
Ugh.
Because
I
one
feel
of
bad
them.
Because I think they're both good people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's
She doesn't have a mean bone in her body. Of course not. No. But she's being selfish right now.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
And then we have our Bailey and Jeremy.
Oh my God.
Again, I don't want him on my TV. I don't want to look at him.
Over and over again, we're compatible. We're compatible. We can go to Peru and you can go camp and I'm going to go to the Four Seasons. That is not compatibility. It's just not. That's not going to work. You're going to do that one time. He's going to get pissed off. You're going to get pissed off and throw a tantrum. Meanwhile, you're at the Four Seasons drinking champagne and you're drunk somewhere. And he's off in Machu Picchu somewhere, right, in a dirt pile, pissed off that you're not sleeping next to him. That is not compatibility.
No, and I get that there's some of that exists. Like, I think of Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin. And Harry Hamlin goes to, like, fucking Canada for, like, 4 months of the year, and that works for them. But I don't think that is what they're looking for. And it's also, there's a stage of life where that works. So you can't have that separateness in a marriage if you're also planning on having babies. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, part of me really wishes that Bailey had gotten together with Andrew.
Yeah.
Or someone that was more into her. I just don't see Jeremy actively being into her. You know?
Oh, no. Nope. He's into himself. Actively into himself.
Yes. It's very Jax Taylor vibes without the personality to back it up. And I don't even like Jax. The other thing is, then they gave us I wish they hadn't, actually. But they gave us the teaser for next week. And they just blew the doors wide open. Everything is different than they told you. They are saying they're bringing everybody back, and everybody gets to come in and have their opinions. Fucking Sean's just coming back.
Big Brother. I'm hoping they get a vote. I hope they get to vote. You know, like Big Brother. I hope they get to vote.
I'm wondering if that's going to happen. Sean is coming back just to
fuck off Dale. Kat's. Yep.
Yeah.
See ya. You're Dale's not going anywhere.
Cat. He's just there to blow up everything for them. Also, by the way, his dad is like a minor. Oh, okay. Minor politician.
You looked it up?
I did. And he's like whatever. And he's been embroiled with scandal for like money problems or something. I don't totally remember. You can Google it. Allegedly. I didn't care that much. But it's not like his dad was in Congress. So, Sean, maybe don't do that because
he's going to. He's still going to. And I'm here for it. I cannot wait. Yeah.
The biggest twist of them all is that apparently you literally choose the love or money. So whoever it ends up being finished with, they have to choose. How do you do that?
Correct.
So if, let's just say, theoretically, Spencer and Jess win.
Yeah. Okay.
And Spencer's like, let's get engaged. And she's like, yes. Then they don't get the money. But if Spencer goes, we're going to choose the money and never see each other again, they would just get back together right after. Although they live in different cities. It's not going to work, Spencer and Jess.
True.
So everyone knows. But they would just get back together later, right? I think if Matt and I... If they were like, Matt and Jen, $100,000, you can stay married and get nothing, or you can get divorced. Which, by the way, they have them for $99. I've seen signs all over the place. $99 divorces. They're like, get divorced and get a, like, split $500,000.
I'm signing my divorce papers right now.
Right. I'd be like,
where is it?
Fine. Yeah. Great. Amicable.
Yeah.
Reconcilable differences.
Exactly.
And then we would just get back together after.
Mm-hmm.
After we put an addition on the house. Like, it's fine. But I do think that's fun. And all of this is so intense, and everyone, you become in this separate reality that I think everyone's going to be like, what do we do? Although I think most of these couples
are going to take the money.
Do you know what Kath said that I really liked? She was talking about who deserves the money.
Ugh.
Did you hear that part?
She
was talking about, you know what? Dale and Kat, super financially...
Oh, yeah, Kathy. Yeah.
They're, like, fine. They're good.
Yes.
So, no, I don't want them to win. I want Alex to win. She's got 6-figure student loan debt. Let her go pay that off. And I was like, actually, I agree with Kathy. Who needs it the most? Who needs that money? Not Dale.
Not Kat. Not Dale. Yeah. True.
Probably not Jeremy either. To be honest.
No.
He's fine.
Yeah. Not Jeremy or Bailey, for sure.
I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
I just know Jeremy travels and Bailey stays at the Four Seasons. So they're fine.
I think they're good.
So probably Alex and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jess and Spencer. Those are my top 2 couples. And I don't think any of them are going to last. I think Dale and Kat have the most chance of lasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who are your top couples?
Well, I really like Jess and Spencer. I don't know that they're going to last, but I don't like Alex and Andrew. I don't think they deserve to win at all.
I just feel bad about her crushing debt.
Who cares? Why do I care? Why do I care? What she has presented to the world on this TV show does not make me endeared to her that she needs to win this money.
She's also on Team Jeremy. So yeah, never mind. Fuck her.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Jess and Spencer deserve it. That would be my pick. I don't know how it's going to play out.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Kathy and Keith pulled it out?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Those grandkids would be so spoiled.
Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Just so incredible. I do want to say that when the doctor was talking to Dale and Kat, and specifically talking to Dale, saying, I really loved, and they won the challenge. I really loved how you took care of her when she was having her panic attack, and you were very calm, and you were helping her, and you were making her comfortable and putting things together for her to sit down or for her to do, or distracting her, all of these things that you were doing. She said, but there's another side to that, right? You're either going to get annoyed or you're going to get angry. You're not going to be able to sustain that throughout your relationship all the time. And I completely agree. He obviously did not agree, but you could see that switch when he is listening, that he's just so self-absorbed and so narcissistic that he's just like, yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, that will never happen. Yeah, that's not. And I'm just like, oh, dude, that's so going to happen one day. One day that's going to blow up.
I think that's for everybody,
His
honestly.
Love language is acts of service. Are you joking? There's
what do you mean?
No
what do you think
way.
What do you think his love language is?
No way his love language is acts of service. His love language definitely is got to be either words of affirmation or physical touch. One of those two. I think it's physical touch.
What are yours? Scandal.
What
noted.
are my? Yeah, mine are words of affirmation.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine. I need to be told all the time that I think that's also my attachment style is anxious.
Me too.
So I need to be constantly confirmed that he doesn't hate me.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like just working in the corner and I'm like, you're mad?
You're
mad at me right now?
Right. Exactly. 100%. Like I walked in the door and I'm not greeted with thanks for coming home. Why didn't you thank me for coming home? You know, are you mad at me? What? You should have thanked me. I showed up. What are you doing? What's happening? But no, I don't believe Dale that he's too big of a narcissist to be acts of service. Huge. Nope.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't pick up on that for him.
Yeah.
I think it's a good point though, because there's also, that's exhausting.
Yes.
So,
oh my God, just the last couple of weeks we're watching her. I'm exhausted.
she's a high maintenance girly, and it's partially you want to be able to be there for your partner.
Sure.
But I think it borderlines what Kat's doing, borderlines on what Alex does, where she's like, I expect you to just know that I need a blanket.
Right.
Like, ooh,
right.
That's not how that works.
No.
So while it's nice to do those things, I don't think it's okay to expect those things.
Yeah.
Right? And also, she was having an actual meltdown. So Dale deserved a win because he had a worse time than everyone else.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was too bad that those tents didn't, well, maybe they did. I can't remember if they zipped up. I would have just, if I were Dale, I would have been going the tent and I would have zipped her up in it and been like, there's no bugs in there, go. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they kept getting in.
Yeah, to get like, her away from
and
me.
She's like, there's one in there.
I mean, I can't, just so annoying when he was so sweaty, just trying to deal with her and put things together. He was trying to make a table or a chair for her to sit on, and she couldn't just focus. And I'm just like, my God, can you imagine her as a mother trying to chase around a bunch of kids and multitask? No.
Well, I think she's fine as long as she's inside.
No, but I'm just saying, like, she can't.
Right.
I don't see her being able to handle stress like that all the time. I just don't.
Mm-mm. No, that was a like, full meltdown.
Yeah.
I get like that with, actually, that's not even true. I've been really working on it over the last several years. I get like that around snakes. Oh. And so when we were moving to Florida, you see the videos of snakes coming out of people's toilets. And I was like, that's something I'm going to have to learn to deal with. But you know what I did is I took a lot of time and I learned all about the snakes that are here in Florida. And so now instead of having a panic attack when I see a snake, I just scream what kind of snake it is and whether or not it's venomous. So she just needs to take some time to learn about bugs.
Yeah.
And that'll help her.
Yeah, but I'm sad it's just one more episode. It's going to be over.
Yeah, but it's going to be like,
I know.
2 hours.
Huge.
It's going to be a big
one.
Really long episode.
It's going to be a big one. Yeah.
It's going to be a big one. So, all right. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to find something new after that.
I know. I'm hoping maybe one of the housewives, maybe Salt Lake will start by then.
Salt Lake is coming.
I don't know.
Soon.
I don't know. Something.
Speaking of Salt Lake, did you see today? It's Friday. Today is Jen Shah's anniversary with her husband. And so she posted, I don't know how this works, but she's posting pictures of her and her husband together in her, like, jailhouse jumpsuit. And she's like,
oh no, stop
30 years or however long they've been together.
Oh my God, as she's incarcerated.
Yeah. And she looks good. It looks like she got glam in jail. She's in the nice jail, though.
Yeah.
She's in the nice jail that, like, the celebrities are in. Who else was there?
Oh,
Teresa was in there with her at one point.
Oh my God.
She was in there with I can't remember her name. The tech. She was taking the blood.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Like,
what's her name? Elizabeth something, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember her last name.
And we
Elizabeth
can diagnose
something.
all of this stuff, and they didn't actually have any of the technology.
Yes.
I think she was in that one.
Yeah.
There's definitely a part of, like, that prison.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Holmes.
Yeah.
That prison seems like, is there a way to go there? Because everyone comes out hotter. It's like you get a certain amount of time off of all of your responsibilities.
No! Yes.
You're going to the gym. You're not having to think about what you're eating. They're giving you all their meals. Apparently, they're feeding them very healthy food because everyone's glowing. Everyone's skin. If Jen shot, there's no way that she's getting glam in there. She's just, her skin is perfection.
Oh my God, I love that. That's
and
so
then they've
funny.
got activities. How do I go to prison? How do I go to that prison?
Don't.
I want to go to,
That's not
I want
okay
to go
say.
To that
no,
prison.
not okay to say. Don't. Say
I don't
that.
really want to, but I do.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's like Jax Taylor should go to prison for a little bit for all of his crimes against humanity.
Yes.
But he could do that instead of his mental health facility.
God, yeah.
They'll get him on the good drugs.
Heck yeah.
Imagine what it would do for his skin.
Shape
He
him
looks so bad.
up. Yeah. He does look bad.
He looks rough right now. I'm going to never not talk about Jax Taylor.
Well,
There's
he's
something
never
broken
not going to
inside
be on our
the
TVs or news or phones or any of that stuff, right? Ugh.
Probably.
God damn.
All right. Speaking of terrible men.
And prison.
And prison.
And prison. Men going to prison.
Time for True Crime Story Time with Keeley.
True Crime Story Time. Whispers in the dark. Truth leaves a mark. True Crime Story Time.
So, Trophy Wife, Murder on Safari.
Trophy
HULU.
Wife. Murder on Safari, episode 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. So we left off last week where they were talking to Lori in prison. And we had no idea that Lori was in prison, had anything to do with Bianca's death at this point. So now episode 2 opens with Lori's, I guess, side of the story where she is talking about how she met Larry. So she said she met Larry in early 2002, so about 14 years before the murder. And she started working at the original dentist office, the dentistry, with the 2 partners that kicked him out. So she started working there. And she said that right away, Larry was sending her love letters, cards, and flowers. But the funny thing is that her daughter in episode 1 was like, they didn't have a relationship for over a year. So she said she finally said, okay, yes. So they started going out on dates. And then she said someone told her that Larry was married. She didn't know Larry was married. I find that hard to believe.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Because Bianca was helping with the business.
Yes. Yeah.
Ugh.
So she was the office manager / hygienist there. Lori's story is that she said, I asked Larry because a staff member told me that Larry was married. So I went to Larry and said, hey, dude, you're married. And Larry's response to me was, oh, it's totally fine. It's not a big deal. Let me be your entertainment. That's just for Matt.
It's so fucking gross and dumb.
Does that even mean? What is that? That is not attractive. It's not sexy.
apparently it is to Lori.
Yeah.
Lori is so... If this episode, if you didn't really like Lori, you extra hate her.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
And her fucking daughter. Being like, it's been really hard for my mom.
Oh, my God, yeah. So Lori says, look, we bonded over our childhood, that we both had crazy mothers. And I was like, oh, okay.
I would genuinely like to hear more about their crazy mothers. I love a crazy mother story.
So she said they bonded over their crazy mothers, and she said they started traveling together, and as they traveled, they fell in love. Here's my thing. If you're traveling with a stranger and or someone you're like, oh, sure, I'll just go to Vegas or I'll go to Africa with you, but I don't really know you.
Dubai.
What?
It looks like one of their first trips. They were in Dubai.
It's weird. It's super weird.
At the Burj Khalifa.
Everything I swear she says is either an embellishment or some sort of lie. I just don't understand.
Well, and it's like, we accidentally fell in love when I was letting him take me on these very expensive trips.
What?
And we were sharing rooms together. It's like, when he took you to fucking Dubai and dicked you down, then you accidentally fell in love? Does she not?
Yeah, I don't.
We're
listening.
Have to be a critical thinker to put two and two together here.
Yeah.
Like, no, something.
Hello.
Oh, it suddenly became pure?
Yeah.
Because you loved each other while he was cheating on his wife?
I don't know.
Because you loved each other? There's a couple things that she says that I'm gonna freak out when you bring them up.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just very strange. And then the story shifts to Larry and Bianca being members of what's called the Safari Club International, which has to do mainly with the rights of hunters. So I guess the NRA has the rights for, guns, but this is the rights for hunters. And, they say that Larry talked about hunting and conservation, which I think you said last week, if you're murdering animals, why are you trying to conserve them? I don't know. So it was a big deal.
I think they're saying that the money, because you were talking about how effing expensive it is to get the licenses to hunt these animals, and then that money goes towards keeping the preserve where you hunt these animals safe, so they can make more babies. I don't know. Yeah. I wanted to ask you something really quick, because they start talking about him being a hunter, and he's talking about how his dad is why he's like a hunter. Yeah. But is it the disposition, like where he's being interviewed? Okay. Yeah. They show clips of this on and off throughout of the video of him answering these questions. Mm-hmm. Every question they ask him, whether it's something that would need a longer explanation or basic, like, when did you get married? Yeah. He has these very long pauses where he goes, yeah. Yeah. That would be and then it's like he has to think, is that normal? Because they've had to be so prepped for these cases and trials, or is that weird? It read as very odd to me, but I'm wondering if that's normal.
I do like the fact that you bring up his demeanor in the deposition, because I think it was odd. People tend to think about their answer first, yes. Mm-hmm. But what I picked up on was every time they asked him about himself, he was very much filled with pride and very much, look how narcissistic I am, and I really want to talk about myself. Mm-hmm. You could just see his head just getting bigger and bigger, like just filling up the room with his ego. So the light in his eyes was very bright when he was talking about himself. But then if someone questioned him, you could see it would just go black and he would change. He's one of those people. His face would change. The light in his eyes would change, and he's a very scary person. But yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up about how he looked in those recordings.
It felt bizarre.
Yeah. His deposition did look weird.
Okay, so that wasn't a normal thing.
No, that's not normal. But they talk about the Safari Club and how they have hundreds of chapters all over, the world. And that's, they flash into different conventions where they have, like I wrote down, Donald Trump Jr. was there, Tucker Carlson, Kristi Noem, all our favorite people go to these things. So yeah, the people that are in it's very highly regarded. And Larry and Bianca were part of this. So they would go to these conventions. They would go to these big galas and these dinners and stuff like that. So Larry would bring Bianca and introduce her. And so they were there as husband and wife, right? She's showing up at all of these places. And then people started to be concerned about Larry's, I guess, morality and his storytelling, because he started to tell people at the Safari Club about his, crocodile incident where he claimed that the crocodile rolled him in Zambia, bit off the tip of his finger, and people were very impressed at the Safari Club. And he even said in his deposition, big game hunters and Safari Club, they really like tough men. The tougher you are, the better it is for you. And I was just like, God, he's feeding his ego, right?
He's describing himself as this tough guy who gets a lot of respect because they see they liked all of his stories. Yeah. And some of the people are like, oh my gosh, wow.
He fought off this alligator or crocodile. Yeah.
And then other people are like, that's not how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. So then other people noticed that when they would go to these conventions that Larry would have another woman there with him that clearly wasn't Bianca, and would be at the convention, would go to his hotel room, and people started talking and saying, this is really weird. Why does he have this other person here? And that other person ended up being Lori. So now he has presented Lori to the Safari Club and is taking pictures with Lori. Lori is being introduced to people at the Safari Club. And I am thinking to myself, this man has no fucking shame. He's introduced his wife, said, this is my wife.
Yeah.
Gone to all of these things, and now has brought Lori in and has not skipped a beat. I don't know how you're not embarrassed. I don't know how you do that.
Well, I think it's because he was the hubris of him, he felt untouchable. Yeah. So he tells all these stories, these lies. Yeah. And people believe him. Yeah. And he decided that he wanted to become the president of his local chapter, right? Yep. Yeah. And the part where assistant had mailed a bunch of fake ballots in, so like they think he fully cheated to become president. Yep. And so this organization holds themselves to these moral and ethical standards, right? Yep. And he's a sleazebag. Yep. And then Bianca, I guess, didn't even see it. And she was going around trying to be this perfect wife of the chapter president. And she got so into it. They were showing pictures of the whole family. He took the whole family to some of these safaris. Yeah. His son shot some animals and did some of that. And then Lori became really, really good. Mm-hmm. And she's going in, and I would need someone like Lori to explain their full thought process of how this is great for conservation and everything. But she went in social, happy, helpful, supportive. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm going to go to Alaska and I'm going to take Lori. I need her for my heart. She's a medical professional. She's a dental hygienist. She's not a nurse. No. But Lori's there in case he has heart problems. Yeah. Which he didn't. So that's what he was telling everybody who Lori was a medical aide. And like you said, people were not believing that at all. They opened the Safari Club
president opened an investigation and against Larry to get him removed as the president and removed basically out of the Safari Club history books, his name off all the records.
I know.
And that was successful. So they got him kicked out of the Safari Club. Bianca was thinking, he just kind of, I guess, had a bad day because she loved him so much. She was like, this is just a little blip in our marriage. Oh. He didn't really mean to do it, I guess. I really want to focus on our marriage. And he's really had a hard time this last however long. And so they decided to move full-time to Arizona after that. And right, they're in Arizona. Lori is still in Pittsburgh, PA. And she's thinking to herself, okay, well, Larry's moved on with Bianca, but I'm still here taking care of these businesses. So Lori is now telling us what a giant martyr she is becoming. No.
I mean, it does seem like, not that Lori deserves
correct
any empathy here, but he leaves. He goes to a whole different state because he's embarrassed himself so bad in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
With all of these elite people.
Yeah.
And he's got to kind of redo everything, restart in Arizona, which the fact that his wife let him do that is kind of incredible. Right?
Yeah.
So then they have this house, they're rebuilding their lives. Lori's back. They've got 5 offices.
Yeah.
That she's running.
Yep.
All by herself, and they're understaffed, and so she's pissed off.
Yeah.
Then Larry's like, I'll just fly back and forth.
Yikes. Really? You just want a little bit of, what'd you call it? Dicking down here and there. That maybe wasn't satisfying her enough. I'm not sure. But
well, her daughter was crying, and she's like, she was working 7 days a week.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes. Very upset about the whole thing and very proud of her mother, how she was dealing with it and taking care of everything. We do hear this kind of random story from one of the staff members that she claims that Lori went to her house one time, opened a bottle of wine, and the staff member said, Lori didn't really have any friends, which, tracks when you're watching this show. But she apparently tells this staff member that she gave Larry an ultimatum about Bianca and said, look, you have 1 year to get rid of her. And the staff member said, I didn't really understand what that meant. I didn't really do anything with the information. But Lori told me that she gave that ultimatum to Larry while he was, while he moved to Arizona, was living in Arizona with Bianca. So we get to hear that story. And that was just kind of a little strange to hear. Not quite sure what that was about. So about a month, they say, before the murder happens, Bianca tells everybody that they're going to go back to Zambia for another big game hunt. They're working on their marriage and they're going to be alone. There's no pressure. It's just they love to do that. And this is just going to be the best thing for them to go do that. Bianca's basically going to do this leopard hunt by herself. So Larry is just supporting her. That's what this trip is, for Bianca to do this leopard hunt. And then we get to meet these African guides that help them, which were great. I really liked, how they explain it. So this guide, his name was Spencer. He was the one that was with Larry and Bianca. And he explains, that he stays with them all the time for the entire duration, however long their hunt or their stay is. So he said he was with them for 10 days. He stays in a tent, and the couple, or Larry and Bianca, stayed in a cabin. And then each day they would go out and try and track these animals and do these hunts together. And he said, they were together so long, they became family, right? They were joking and telling stories. And he said he could tell that Lori Larry and Bianca were really in love, and they took care of each other and
laughing, having so much fun.
Yeah.
These guys seem like so cool.
Yeah.
I would love to I could just listen to these guys tell stories.
Man. Yeah.
So his job is to guide them, help track the animals, and they're incredible at it. And then also their job is they're all organized through the national park.
Right.
In Zambia.
Yeah.
So they're monitoring as well. So they're saying, okay, here's the animals that you're allowed. Here are the animals that they got.
Yeah.
And he said that he, had her book, her like licensure book. Again, I don't know enough about hunting to speak fluently on this, but he said that he was going through and she was super impressive. Yeah. With all of everything that she had in there that she had taken down. And that also he said that she was one of the most expert hunters he'd ever worked with. Yeah. Even among all the men, she was better than just about anybody he's ever hunted with because she could take all these animals down with one shot. Which, again, not my deal, but she was badass in this sense. But then on the other side, she was a total doormat for her husband for some reason.
Yeah. Her problem was that she loved her husband. And her husband was evil. And
she had all of what happened from her kids. Mm-hmm. So her kids were adults at this point, but they never found out until afterwards about the cheating or about the SCI stuff.
Yep. Yeah. It's so sad. So on the day of the murder, so they're in the Kafue National Park in Zambia, and they say it's, in the morning, it's right at dawn, and then they hear the gunshot. Mm-hmm. So the guide goes into Larry and Bianca's cabin, and he says that Larry tells him that Bianca has accidentally shot herself while she was putting away her firearm. So they're packing, this is their last day, and she's packing her firearm and putting it away. So he was in the shower, and he came out of the shower and found her dead on the floor in a pool of blood with the shotgun lying on the floor next to her. This is what he's telling the guide that happened. So the guide said, I'm going to call the police. This is a police situation right now. This is what we do once, So we get to meet the police chief, and the police is saying, okay, well, there's something immediately wrong. A couple of things that are immediately wrong. Larry says, I was in the shower, I heard the gunshot, and I came out and found Bianca dead. But Larry was fully clothed and completely dry. Mm-hmm. So at what point did Larry put on his clothes? Mm-hmm. So they didn't believe him, I think, that he was in the shower at the point of when she was shot. And also, the second point was the guide said that he had cleared the firearm the night before after their hunt, which means there was no bullets in the shotgun. There was no bullets. They looked in the gun. So how could she have shot herself if they cleared it the night before and she was putting away a hollow gun? So that doesn't make sense either. So we get to see pictures of the crime scene, and Bianca's body is on the floor of the bedroom, but they have a blanket over her, and there's blood. We don't get to see a lot of blood on the floor, but there's kind of a trail of it almost she's at the foot of a dresser. Her body's up against, kind of on the floor up against the dresser. And there's blood kind of between her and the end of the bed. And then you see the gun case there on the floor by her, near her body. But there's no blood on the gun case anywhere. I would think, first of all, if she had shot herself, there would have been more blood spatter everywhere in the room. But there's just kind of little pools of blood near her that we can see because she does have a blanket on her in the pictures. So what ends up happening is the next day they get this call. The police gets the call from the embassy, this gentleman called a consular chief from the embassy that says they have a medical examiner's report that they're going to cremate her body. This is 24 hours later. Right.
Yeah.
And the police are saying, what in the hell is going on? What do you mean you're going to cremate the body? And so the embassy, their spidey senses are going off. They're like, there's something weird going on. They are the ones that went over to the cabin and took the pictures that we get to see that I just described.
Yep.
So he runs over there. He takes the pictures of Bianca and Bianca's body. Otherwise, they ended up cremating her. We would never have seen her at all, her body or the crime scene or anything like that. Everybody is very confused about how fast everything is going. Larry is very adamant about, I just want to cremate her body. This is how it's going to happen. They call Larry back and try and question him. They bring him back into the police station and they're questioning him about you were dressed, about the firearm having been cleared with no bullet in there. And then at that point, Larry says, well, I think she killed herself. She committed suicide.
Yeah.
So now he changes his story, and we get to hear Larry on this recording trying to describe for the audience about how he felt and being treated when he was there after she died. He says, imagine you're in a third world country and your wife passes away and you're needing help. Sir, that is not what happened. That's not what happened at all.
No, he's irritated that he's not getting handheld through this whole process. And he's like, can you imagine how I felt? And not that, let's just say this all happened the way that Larry said it happened, right? You still aren't going to get concierge service through this process. That's not, even if you were in the US, it's not like people are going to be taking care of you every step of the way. And when your answers don't match the reality of the situation, you're going to get some pushback. Yeah. And the fact that he was getting so much pushback, not even that much, and he was so pissed off at everyone. Yeah. They were interviewing Dan Foote, who was the ambassador to Zambia. Yeah. I fucking love him.
Dancing to Africa by Toto, the song.
The places, okay.
I loved him.
Just again, to these documentarians, the places that they're interviewing these people are so theatrical. So, like, his assistant, Larry's dental hygienist, was getting interviewed in an antique store, and then this weird little, tiny, very elaborately decorated diner or something.
Yeah.
I could not figure out where she was.
I know.
It looked antique and haunted. / also maybe in the bayou. I don't know. Yeah. And then this guy, Dan Foote, who I don't think was involved in basically much of anything of this. He's just there to give a little bit of an explanation of the U.S. Zambia relations.
Sure, yeah.
He looks like he's trying to pull off some sort of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction look. Yeah. And he really feels like he is a raconteur. So when, for some, again, I can't totally figure out why they're giving him so much airtime other than he is an absolute character. But because it was a misty morning in Zambia at dawn when a shot breaks out across the savannah. And you're like, what the fuck?
Right. What are you?
You weren't even there, Dan.
I know. It was amazing. He was amazing. Just watching him turn on that song by Toto.
The jukebox.
On the jukebox and then dance up to the camera where he's going to sit down and then he says, I'm just trying to get my motivation to speak. I'm like, what are we about to hear, sir?
He was so excited to be on camera.
He was amazing. Right. So, the counselor chief, 2 days after the murder. The counselor chief, at the embassy, they're looking into Larry's background, his career, his history. And they're basically saying, Larry's wanting to create this narrative about what happened, how it happened, and he's going to stick with that. And nobody's going to say boo to it. He's not going to let anybody. Bianca does get cremated 2 days after the murder, and the medical examiner's report and the police report said she was, killed by a shotgun to the heart. That's what ended up happening. They ended up going with that. And Larry was never detained. He was never arrested. He was never charged with anything, and he is free to leave the country. That's it. He just is gone.
He steamrolled them all.
Yep. So Larry says he left Zambia heartbroken and sick, but it was just an accident. I mean, who talks like that? I can't imagine if something like that so horrific happened. Not once did this man mention his children. Not once did this man say, I'm going to call my kids. Not once did he say, oh my God, my kids, I've got to tell them. Not once.
No, he wasn't protecting them at all or thinking of them.
Nope.
And
nope.
No, it was all about his feelings leaving. Granted, again, the people who did this documentary really hate Larry. And they go out of their way to be like, look at this POS. So they're not going to include any information that makes him look like a good dad. But at the same time, you don't hear him going,
first thing I need to do is call my kids. I've got to call my kids.
Or like, how the fuck did this happen? Why would she do that? I don't understand what she was doing. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. There's nothing for her. There's no part of what happened to my wife.
Nope.
What happened to Bianca? He's not talking about what happened to Bianca. He's talking about
him.
The administrative shit that he was frustrated that no one did for him.
Yeah.
Because Bianca probably always did all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
He says,
Lori's dealing with his business for him. He's not doing any of that shit.
I'm walking around Zambia like a zombie. I hadn't eaten in a day and a half. I was half in tears and in pain, and the emotion was indescribable. Again, it's all about him. What am I missing? No, none of that is normal. Not in the slightest.
He didn't reach out to his kids, right?
No.
Like,
so, yeah.
Ugh.
Not even close.
I don't know how you make that call. Let's say that all of this happened the way that he said it happened. It's got to be awful to have to make that call to your children that this has happened. But he just didn't do it.
He just didn't do it. We find out in the next part that it says 1 week, ladies and gentlemen, 1 week after the murder, his children still have not heard that their mother is dead.
Which is
not heard.
Normal. Because the daughter, she was such a good mom, and they were always in contact. And obviously it's going to be difficult in Zambia.
Yep.
But the kids have been trying to get a hold of their mother.
Yeah.
And they're freaking out, and they're telling their coworkers, they're telling their friends, I can't get a hold of my mom. I don't know what's going on.
Yep. Yeah, that was just disgusting to me. I just felt so icky that he still, after a week, had not told them. So they finally find out a week after. We hear from the son that he tells the daughter, and we get to hear this devastating phone call from the daughter we end up at the very end of the show learning that this phone call that we hear is she's calling Larry and basically calling him out for what happened. But we don't have that context yet, but she's just devastated. She's like sobbing uncontrollably, saying, I can't live without mom. How am I supposed to go on? How could this happen? And you, as a viewer, are just heartbroken to hear the hurt and the pain in her voice, finding out that her mom is gone. It is so tragic to hear. It's so painful to listen to. It's just awful. So then we get to hear all the different staff members find out that Bianca had an accident in Africa and has died. And every single one of them are like, Larry did it.
Larry did it. Larry did it.
Every single one of them. And
Bianca's friend from SCI
yep.
was like, I don't believe this for a second.
Yeah.
All of these times she's having this happens on the trip where she's supposed to be reconnecting with Larry after he fucked everything up so bad.
Yeah. Then we go back to talking to Larry's insurance broker, Bill, which he's a character. I liked him too. And he goes back to their insurance policies and he's like, look, I told you before, they both came in and signed up for these insurance policies. It wasn't anything weird. She went and signed all the documents. She went and had all these doctor's appointments. And I did not find any red flags about that until I found out that Larry had gotten more insurance policies than he had signed up with me about. So now we're fine. Right.
Multiple insurance brokers, multiple insurance agencies.
Yes.
Is that allowed? Would that be, let's just say, if you sign up for insurance from multiple companies,
I guess.
Are you only allowed to be insured? Can you be double insured? You can with health insurance. I
guess. I mean, because this insurance broker didn't know. I wonder if the point is that the other ones don't know. But this guy did not know that Larry had 9 policies out on Bianca. 9. There's no reason to have 9.
I think 3 of them were through Bill.
Yeah.
Which even that seems a little weird, but
I
guess if you have that much money,
sure,
maybe it's different, but
yeah. So then we go back to Lori's interview at the prison, and she said Larry just needed a friend after the death. He just needed a friend. So I was there for him as a friend. What?
Was it right after?
Yeah, right after. She spins this bullshit story about how they're just friends. So now, before she told us they're in love, now she's telling us they're just friends. And she's just there friendly for him because he's just had this accident with his wife. But then they show 3 months after the murder. Oh, she's full on moved in. She's moved to Arizona, moved into Bianca's house in Arizona with Larry, and are just living their best life. And then we cut to Lori's daughter who says, yeah, they're living their best life because there's no, what did she call Bianca? Distractions?
They wanted a fresh start without the memories.
Without the memories.
What a euphemism.
For a person. For a human being. I mean.
Whacked out.
Yeah.
Just
totally gross.
Totally whacked out. Maybe it's good that the people that we love can't necessarily see us for our faults. But this pair of rose-colored glasses that her daughter has about this whole situation is insane to me.
Yeah, yeah. So after a while, I guess they decide that they don't want to have the memory in this house, and they decide to build their own house in Arizona.
Around
the corner, right. So they build their dream home, their forever home. And Lori says, we lived there. It was magical for years. They lived there for years together. They had, a 2-floor trophy room because they had so many big game trophies in this house that Larry, I guess maybe, and Bianca, I'm not sure, had
I know. What
killed.
happened to all of Bianca's trophies?
Yeah, I don't know. So they're living their best life in Arizona. Then we cut to this bartender named Brian, and he says,
dragon.
Yes, and he says people in Phoenix, they got a lot of money. They go to this steakhouse restaurant and they can drop $1,000 just sitting at the bar, and they have no problem doing that. And Larry and Lori were frequent occupants of this specific steakhouse. They would call ahead, get their certain chairs or places at the bar. ready and they would show up, and Lori would have a fur or she would have an expensive purse, and they would order expensive meals at this restaurant. And Brian told this story at the end of the episode where there's music playing and he could feel the tension between Larry and Lori while they were having a conversation, but he couldn't hear the conversation. He couldn't hear what they were talking about. But as the music changed and there was quiet in between songs, he said that Larry pointed his finger at Lori and said, "I killed my fucking wife for you," just as loud as he could be. Didn't care who heard it. Didn't care if anybody saw it. And Lori got up and left, took her purse and her mink coat and left. And Brian thought, what is going on? And that was the end of this episode. We're not quite sure what even that meant. I mean, you know, we can all kind of glean. So that's where they end this episode.
The very end of this episode, they have a disclaimer.
Yeah.
With that footnote.
Yeah.
Were you going to talk about that?
You can tell it. Go ahead.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. So this has been denied by Larry, but several people are saying that while Bianca was alive and while Larry was with Lori, he was also cheating on Lori.
Yeah.
So he had Lori running around taking care of all of the different offices. So he was also still sending stuff, still trying to hook up with hygienists within the office as well.
Yeah.
One of which told a story to his old partner that he started sending her the love notes and the flowers and then sent her a bouquet of roses. And in the center was a dildo.
Yeah.
And Larry and his lawyer say that he never did that.
He never did that.
But I believe that it did happen.
100%. That is an incredible idea to send a dildo bouquet. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
What an original, creative,
Absolutely.
disgusting idea.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's so fucking gross.
Oh,
So
God.
gross.
So episode 3, they just get right in there and they start talking about how happy, right? Lori and Larry are living their best life for about 5 years after the murder. And I am thinking to myself, where, you know, they have definitely have cashed in these life insurance policies to build this home in Arizona to get Lori these expensive fur coats or these expensive purses, everything. They go back to Bianca's friends and they talk about her and how great she was. And they describe her because they want to talk about the memory of her for a little bit. But Bianca's friends also say, look, we are not going to let it lie that we think that Larry killed her. Something happened in Africa. We know he did something shady. The man has cheated on her for 15 years. He's just evil all the way down to his toenails. So each one of her friends, either in Safari Club or, you know, through the dentist office or just through her personal life, they start calling the FBI and they start leaving these messages. And
Can you imagine being so like, we have to call the FBI?
Incensed.
And multiple people are like, this doesn't add up. Somebody's got to get involved in this. Somebody's got to check in. Even the bartender's like, what the fuck?
Yep. Called the FBI.
I loved it. One of the things that you said about Larry before that multiple people comment on is the fact that he has this switch. And you were talking about it during his depositions, that he would change and he would suddenly, his eyes would go black and he would go into a rage. The dental hygienist saw it. I think the bartender kind of mentions that that's like what he saw him do. So a lot of people have seen this other side of him and how quickly it can flash back and forth. And I'm sorry, Jax Taylor vibes.
Oh,
right?
man. Right, for sure.
So
they
creepy.
have these
so scary
charismatic character features to present to a person in front of them to draw you in, right? Mm-hmm. And then once you're there, then they manipulate you and control you. They change on that dime and can manipulate and control you. And that is a scary person, right? So then we get to meet the FBI, and these guys were great. And they are like, look, we get calls about people all the time. And most of the time, they lack this specificity in anything that we can do, because a lot of times it's just conjecture. They're like, I think he killed her, but we don't have any proof. We don't really know why. We can't really give you anything. But these FBI agents were like, we were getting all of these calls. They had a lot of specific information. They had a lot of things that we could follow up on. And so they did look into it, and they finally look into it about 3 years. The murder happened in 2016. They looked into it at 2019. And they explained the FBI does not get involved in foreign country murders. They just don't do that. That's not something they do. It is very rare for them to do that. And so they said, we got all the information from the Zambian police. We looked over the medical examiner's report. We looked over the police report. We find out that in the pictures of the body, right, that we described, this is really going to be a hard case because they cremated Bianca, so we don't have a body. We find out we don't even have a weapon. What Larry did to the fucking gun. So Larry broke it into pieces. He put it in different boxes and then gave it to people to dispose of. Do you think that's shady or not? I mean,
I think
what the actual fuck?
And this is, again, I don't know. If my wife shot herself in another country, I wouldn't bring that gun home. I wouldn't want that anywhere near me. Right? He took it home. It's just too...
It's so bad. Shitty. It's so bad. So the FBI, they get all this information, and the first thing they do is they do what they call is a reach study for the gun, because in the report, they have Larry's second story that she killed herself. And Bianca had on her chest, they said it was a 6-centimeter hole in her chest. I looked it up. It's the size of an egg. I have an egg here, everybody. I have an egg here. It's the size of an egg. That's a big ass hole on her chest. And so they said, okay, we're going to do this reach study. We're going to get the same size females in the room. We're going to give them the same size gun, and we're going to try and see if they can hold it, put it up to their chest, right, and try and kill themselves. And they had 50 different women come in, and only one of them could do it because she was a gymnast and her shoulders were flexible and could reach around and do that. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, yeah, no, she did not kill herself.
Because there also had to be a distance as well, right? That was the other part of it.
That was the other test, was the pattern test for the 6-centimeter hole in her body. So if she had actually shot herself, it would have looked different. The wound would have looked different on her body. And so they did this pattern test. They kept shooting at an object, and they would stand back and shoot it. They would stand back further and further and further until they got to a distance of 3 feet. And at 3 feet, they made the 6-centimeter hole in that object they were shooting at. It looked like just like a wall. And so they said, look, someone shot her at a distance of 3 feet. That's how she got that hole in her chest. So they determined it was a homicide, right? And they determined it, Larry was the only one there. Larry was the one that killed her. So then they start looking into his, financial background and his bank accounts and all the things. And so they saw all the life insurance policies that they had, that Larry had got on Bianca, all the 9 life insurance policies. And
it was 7 different companies.
Yeah.
That he went to.
Yep. So the FBI ended up flying over to Zambia. They interviewed the police. They interviewed, all the people that were involved originally when it happened. And we find out a couple of different stories that the game scout Spencer may have moved. We're not quite sure. Bianca's body in and out of the cabin at some point for some reason. So a lot of different things happened at the crime scene when they went and interviewed people back in Zambia, which was never told before. They also were given the picture of Larry's thumb from the crocodile incident. They said the photo was clearly a gunshot wound because they could see gunpowder residue on Larry's thumb.
And it was a circle. It was like he took a circle out of his thumb.
Yeah. They said
and then
that
black
was ridiculous.
And didn't they say he's still to this day getting $30,000 a month?
Even in prison, yes.
Even in prison.
Mm-hmm. What? And then they have, Brian, the bartender, calling the FBI saying he shouted this out in the middle of the restaurant. They have...
I don't know that I would... good for Brian.
Sure.
Brian's a good dude. I don't know that I would have thought to call the FBI. I'm just trying to think of times that I went back when I was a bartender.
Yeah.
People say weird shit when they're drunk. And now I'm like, was there something I should have called the FBI?
And even Brian said every time that they were in the steakhouse, right, there was no mention of an ex-wife or a wife that died or any sort of Bianca talk at all. So he never knew that Larry was married before or even was involved with anyone other than Lori.
The first time he heard about Bianca.
Right. So then they, hear about the story from the staff member about Lori giving Larry this ultimatum because looking into Larry's background, they find out that, Larry is with Lori and they want to find out if Lori knew anything about the murder, if Lori knew, right, there was planning, if Lori asked him to do it, if Lori helped him cover it up, and, any of these things. But they have the staff member and this story that she claims happened with Lori, saying that she gave Larry a year to get rid of Bianca. And
that story I thought was so interesting too, because she was like, we weren't really friends. She was like, brought a bottle of wine and was like, hope you like red. I need to tell you some tea. Yeah. And she's like, why are you telling me this? Yeah. Meanwhile, and everyone has described the relationship with Lori in the office as Lori's scary. Yeah. Lori's cold. Yeah. Lori has no friends. Yeah. Lori's sleeping with the boss, pretends she doesn't work here in case his wife calls. Right. And it's interesting to me that Lori had this moment of, I am going to explode. And she picked the wrong person to
oh my God. To. Right.
She would have told her daughter.
Oh God. People that knew Larry and Bianca and the staff always said that Larry said he would never divorce because he was never going to give Bianca half of anything. Never going to give him half of his money. Never going to give him half of anything he owned. So Larry made it very, very clear that he was not going to divorce Bianca because he knew that Bianca would get half of everything. So, by the FBI interviewing everybody, they figured that part out. we come to when they get arrested. Lori is telling the story about how they're going to Mexico. They're going to Cabo San Lucas.
Oh my God.
And they get on the airplane, and she says they're the only ones on the airplane, but then they have these, I think it was 3 gentlemen that get on the airplane quickly right after them, and she tells Larry, I think those are FBI agents. And he's like, no, that's fine. No, they're not. They arrive in Mexico, and before they let people get off the plane, they make an announcement and say, we will be checking your passports for you to be able to leave the plane. And Lori's like, they have never done that before. Everywhere we've been, that no one has ever said that before. And she's like, I knew those men were FBI agents. They make this announcement. She goes, I think something's going on. So she said, I get up first. I show them my passport. They let me go. Larry's behind me, and they immediately arrest him. There's Mexican police there, and they say, we got him, and they arrest Larry in Mexico and take him away. And she said that's how that happened. But that was 5 years, ended up being 5 years after Bianca's murder. So they show us these phone calls between Larry and Lori all the time about random, right, things. They really don't have any context, but they're back and forth about how they miss each other, or how are you doing, or I love you, or...
Their vibe
Yes.
was so weird, though.
Yes.
Because it's either her fawning over him...
Yes.
And him being like, oh, sweet baby girl. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. We're all right.
Yeah.
Don't be specific in what you're talking about, because this is a recorded line.
Yeah.
And then also other times where he's like, yeah, this all fucking sucks. And this is bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what do I need to do? What can I do? And he's like, you're not helping. And then she'll turn on him. It was this really chaotic energy between them. Granted, who knows how it was edited, but her vibe towards him is that she's, I think, very possessive of him. Felt very entitled to the life that she had now become accustomed to with him. Yeah. And also, she still, I think, to this day is probably totally in love with him.
Oh, I think so.
Still loves him.
Yeah, I think so. But like I said, the FBI has arrested Larry. Now they're starting to look into Lori more. And they show us this graph of how much money that Larry has given Lori over the years. And I mean, I wrote it down, like $20,000 in 2014, $60,000 in 2015. In the year that he murdered Bianca, he gave her $75,000. I mean,
and this is outside of the business.
Yeah.
This is how Jesse from the Valley has friends.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that Larry's a bad guy. I would be his friend for that kind of money.
I mean,
if it's just coming in.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, I wouldn't. He's terrible.
I mean, Lori starts to downplay their relationship again. Yes. And says, look, we're not in a relationship. We don't show up to work together. We don't leave work together. We're not in this relationship. Bitch, you're living together. I mean,
you built a house together.
Built this house. He's writing a check for $75,000. You're going to Dubai. Yeah, she can't keep it straight. I mean, at all. So they pull Lori in to do this grand jury testimony. She refuses to show up. She finally does. They finally subpoena her. And they know that she is lying in front of this grand jury. They absolutely know she's lying, which is a crime. And she refuses to cooperate with the FBI. They look at her and go, okay, you can cooperate with us and it will go pretty good for you. or you don't cooperate, and that over there is called prison. That's where you're going to go. And she chooses the latter. She does not cooperate with them.
She's totally
Team Larry.
Team Larry still.
Yep.
She's like, we're gonna.
Yep.
And I don't understand. Is it delusion?
I don't know.
And can we also talk about the court side of it?
Yeah.
I had a question for you about this. She's in there. She's lying. Obviously lying.
Mm-hmm.
How often, like, when you see that, because you are in a court setting,
Mm-hmm.
the trials that you've watched, does that happen? I mean, do you just see everyone turn on these people when that's happening? Can you tell usually? I feel like it was so obvious to everyone that she was lying. Is that typical?
Oh, yeah, it's obvious. I literally had a jury trial this Monday. Today is Friday, 4 days ago.
Okay.
And the defendant boldface lied. Boldface lied. And the jury found him not guilty. Acquitted him. Let him walk. But he lied. The jury did not know, obviously, everything that I know about the case because they're not allowed to know everything. But he lied. He lied. We knew. We were like, what is going on? And I don't think the jury could see through it, could see that he was lying, but he lied. Yeah. They just had that 4 days ago.
After the fact, if you know that he lied, can they then go after him for perjury?
They can.
Are they going?
No, they're not going to, but they can.
It's not worth the time.
No.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. But on that note, they charged Lori with 5 counts of perjury for lying to the grand jury, obstruction of justice, and accessory after the fact to a murder. So she, for Pete's sake, we go back to her daughter, and her daughter is saying, Lori's innocent. She's the best person on the planet. And my mom was telling the truth the whole time. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything. She's just dicking it down with Larry and doesn't know anything. So
it's so crazy to me. Part of me wonders if she's convinced herself of that being the truth.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, God. But we do get to meet a couple people from the jury. So they end up going to trial with Larry and Lori at the same time, which is not normal. They did not want to do that. And a couple of reasons. It confuses the jury. And it's a lot of work for the jury to keep everybody separate. I mean, you really have to pay attention as a juror to be like, okay, Lori did this on this day. And then Larry murdered his wife on this day doing this, right? You really, as a juror, have to lock in and pay attention. And the attorneys don't want to give juries more work to do. So it's very rare that they try them at the same time, but they ended up doing it. They tried Larry and Lori at the same time. We meet the jury foreperson. Her name is Amanda, and we meet juror number 9 named Tony. And they were, middle-aged, I don't know, younger people. Younger than me. Everybody's younger than me. They were both very articulate. They both seemed very intelligent. They both seemed like they could track and follow what was going on. So we meet Larry's defense attorney. Oh, this guy. Oh, my God.
I thought he was a great lawyer for Larry. I liked him. I think he would be fun at a party. I don't think he's a defense attorney. So
yeah.
Take what you will from that. But
he took everything and twisted it like defense attorneys do and made it into either something that it's not or it was like a red herring, look over here kind of thing. So the insurance policies, the 9 insurance policies came out to be $5 million or something like that.
Yeah.
His argument to the jury was, it wasn't like he took it out a month ago. He took it out over years worth of time. Years and years and years. He took out these 9 insurance policies. So, I mean, if like he took it out a month before he killed her, then maybe. But he took it out years and years and years. Dude, that is not good enough. He still took out $5 million on his wife. He still did it. See, that's what I mean about they twist it. They confuse the jury because we listened to Tony and Amanda and they're like, yeah, he totally was like, well, he didn't take it out a month before he murdered her. So I totally believe. And you're just like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Right?
You're like, no. There's 9 insurance policies.
No. Don't go there. So then, right, he says, okay, so now he has $5 million. He doesn't touch the money. He puts it in a trust fund. Okay. I don't know that I believe that because where did he get all of the money to build all this house? And like I said, the furs and the purses for Lori. Where did he get the money? And
going out to dinner to spend $1,000 on yourself at one dinner just on yourself?
He said, Larry said the money was for his kids. His kids are adults. Why are you putting it in a trust if your children are adults? Give them the money. Give them the money, Larry. Why are you putting it in a trust? That is a huge red flag to me. But the jurors are like, oh, well, I put it in a trust. That's pretty good, right? And you're like, no. What are you doing? Stop listening to him. He's doing all of this sideshow bullshit over here going, look at me.
My favorite one that he came up with was the bartender.
Yeah.
The music went quiet for a moment.
Yep.
And that's when he said, I killed my wife for you. He's like, but what did he say right before it? We don't know. The music was loud. He could have said, people think I killed my wife for you. Could have said that. Something like that. He could have said a whole bunch of other things that put it in better context. I mean, he's a clever guy. That guy is a good lawyer.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's defense attorney, and the jury is right here. The jury is right inside this defense attorney's hand, just slopping it up. They are right there. They even said, look, we loved this guy. We believed everything he said. We were going to find Larry not guilty. Not guilty. We were all like, we totally not guilty. And then what happens? We have talked about this before. With who? Hussein. They have these men, these narcissistic piece of shit men, get on the stand because they have to listen to their own voice.
Yes, and he said that he had promised it at the very beginning of trial. He's like, look, they're going to put up all these arguments. I'm going to knock them all down one by one. And then, as a special treat, we're going to get him on the stand too. And I love that it's because Larry genuinely thinks I am so good on camera. And I say that as someone where I'm like, I am so good on camera. I love being on camera. I love being on TV. I love that anyone would listen to me. But I'll tell you right now, if I do something terrible to get myself into that prison that Jen Shaw is in, and I'm going to be hiring the same lawyer that Larry had, I am not going to get on the stand. If you know anything, it's don't get on the stand.
My God. Don't open your mouth.
Yeah, you keep your mouth shut. I've watched enough Judge Judy to know you give as little information, only the most important, and then you keep your mouth shut because anything else you add is going to piss somebody off.
Yep. All the attorneys in the room, the defense attorney and the FBI were like, fuck. They're going to find Larry not guilty. Everybody knew it. Just looking at the jury and how they were responding. And even the jury were like, yep, we were going to find Larry not guilty. And then Larry gets on the stand and opens his stupid mouth. And that's what Amanda and Tony said Larry was his own downfall. If Larry had not testified, they probably would have found him not guilty because he did himself dirty. He dicked his own self down. I mean, he just so bad. So bad.
He's so fucking full of himself.
Yeah.
He put himself on every commercial for the dentist office.
Yep.
Then he started making commercials of himself
Yep.
for the Safari Club.
Yep.
And they're like, what is he doing?
Mhm.
And he's like, and then his grand plan, he thought that he was the SEI's version of Wayne LaPierre, who was the head of the NRA.
Yeah.
He's the guy that came up with the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that he's going to do that, but for hunters. Like he told people that.
Yeah.
And then he even said himself that his goal was to become
Fox
a news correspondent.
Yeah.
A Fox correspondent.
Yeah.
He thinks he's it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I've got it. I can get in front of this jury.
Yep. Nope.
And he gets in front of the jury and destroys himself.
Yeah.
I love that part of it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yep. So they find him guilty. Yeah. Yep. And Lori does not do herself any favors. We really don't get to see a lot of her trial, but she does not show any remorse at all for Bianca or for the kids. Like we've said before, she basically said, look, I didn't do anything. I'm not a violent person. I'm not going to say I'm sorry for something I didn't do. But they find her guilty of accessory to murder, and they sentence her to 17 years in a federal prison. So that's why she is there. And everybody is just outraged. People are saying drug dealers get less of a prison sentence than Lori gets. But literally to this day, Lori has never, like I mentioned before in the beginning, no remorse for these children, has never said sorry, has never acknowledged these children's existence, has never apologized for even having this affair with Larry, knowing that he was married. But it is all about Lori, how everything was taken from her, how her life was stolen from her, how she doesn't have the same things that she had, all of these great, wonderful, expensive things. She doesn't have that anymore. I mean, what kind of a sick person just does woe is me when someone is dead?
Well, she's benefited off of the death of this woman in such a disgusting way.
Yeah.
I will say she does look better without all the fillers.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So at least that's going well for her.
Yeah.
No, she's gross. She has no remorse, just like you said. I kind of wish we don't hear anything other than from the phone call.
Yeah. From
the daughter. They do interview the son a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish we had heard a little bit more from them. I'm curious how things work out for them now.
Yeah.
With their dad. Because it kind of seemed like the dad, his kids are grown. It seemed like the mom was the only one really managing that relationship with her kids once they were adults.
Yeah.
And it's like, then he just went and lived a separate life.
Yeah. It was weird. I wonder and I hope, like if Larry truly did put that money in a trust or there's $5 million, wherever that $5 million came from. I mean, Larry could have literally written a check and stuck it in a trust. I don't know. But if those kids have that money now, finally, I mean, if that's what Bianca wanted them to have, if they finally have that money, but, I don't know. Like I said before, you hear that phone call where Anna Bianca, the daughter, kind of calls and confronts Larry and says, why did you do it? Why did you kill mom? Why? I can't live without her. And he is not really trying to console her because she's just so upset, rightfully so, and is really calling him out. And he has no response to her, and it's gross. I would think that they probably don't have a relationship. She probably can't handle being around him because she was so emotional with it. But he's in prison. He's got a life sentence. He's not getting out. She's got 17 years for something she doesn't believe that she had anything to do with. And it's just, woe is me. Yeah, that's the end of their story.
Yeah. I think I'm not, the things that stand out to me still are, he still doesn't agree. I think probably because he's going to be appealing, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Forever. Yeah. He still hasn't said, yes, I did it, or I did anything. Yeah. He was on the stand fake crying. Yeah. Quite a bit, which was uncomfortable. And Lori, I think, is still in love with him. Yeah.
Yeah. We hear a phone call where they're talking, I guess, prison to prison, and they're trying to hang up, and she says, okay, goodbye. And she says, I hope not forever. And he says, yeah, this is forever. We're not going to talk again. And they do have a little disclaimer where they say that they don't have any communication anymore between Larry and Lori. So I don't know. But he was the one that said
he broke up with her.
He broke up with her, yeah.
Which is so wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lori.
I know.
You're thirsty.
Ugh.
It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Well, that one was pretty awesome.
It was good.
It was really good. We'll figure out another one for next time. I had something popped into my head, and I wanted to ask you about it. Oh, are you watching any of the Cardi B trial?
Yes. Are you watching it too?
I have seen little flashes of it, and if that doesn't become a TV drama down the road at some point, her on the stand is hilarious.
She's like, my
because
favorite.
I was pregnant. Hello, and he's like, hello. I'm right. Hello again. And one of the things that you had said, I've seen her on the stand, and I've seen her gynecologist on the stand. Because apparently this all happened in a gynecologist's office or something. I don't totally understand. But the gynecologist saw the fight. And we were talking earlier about thinking about what you're saying and having the pauses. Yeah. And this gynecologist, I want to go to him. He seems amazing. And because the lawyer is like, you're just saying that because you have to side with whatever Cardi B says or else you'll lose all of your celebrity clients. And he goes, no. And the lawyer had before asked him, did you see Cardi B hit her? Did you see Cardi B do this? Did you see Cardi B do that? Did you hear her say this? And he's going, no. Like, no pauses, just re-answer. And then he's like, you're just doing this because of your celebrity clients. And he goes, I don't care who my client is, if they're a celebrity or not a celebrity. I want them to know that when they come to my office, it's a safe place and that I'm going to be honest and truthful and keep things as safe and blah, blah, blah. But I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it was so eloquent and so quick and so fast. I was like, I believe him. Yes. He is amazing.
Yes.
And I was like, this is a totally different version of someone on the stand than what I saw Larry doing.
Oh,
and
yes.
I was like, oh, I love that.
Have you seen any videos of any attorneys reviewing her or anybody's testimony? Well, a lot of her testimony, because they are saying this jury is definitely on her side just by what she's saying, how she's saying, and how she's answering these dumb ass fucking questions this attorney is being able to get away with.
It's insane.
Her.
He's such an asshole.
I don't know why this judge is letting this attorney treat her so poorly, but she is taking it with such grace that I can't stop watching her. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I love her.
I love it too. I'm so glad that you're watching it.
She's fast. I'm just watching what pops up in my feed. But
you should
every
go
time-
back on YouTube. They have little longer clips of it that are,
Okay.
you know, like maybe 20 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that are longer, obviously, than your, you know, Facebook or TikTok feed clips.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable and completely worth it. I will tell you right now.
I don't know too much about Cardi B. I know that I've seen her on the stand, and that alone, one, she's fucking beautiful. Two, hilarious. And she's so, like, I don't know, she's sassy, but
incredibly talented, incredibly intelligent, and she is so quick on her feet and so able to deal with what's going on and deal with this piece of shit, sexist, racist garbage in front of her.
well, he
I'm
was
obsessed.
calling her racist, and he was like, "Did you call her fat?" And she was like, "She's bouncer heavy. She's security heavy." I was like, "Holy shit."
Well, she's like, well, I was 130 pounds at the time. And then he was like, well, so you're calling her fat? That's how that all happened. At the time,
Oh.
She goes, I was 130 pounds at the time. I'm not that anymore. But she was, you know, bouncer. And I was just like, oh, fuck, I love this so much. I love this so much.
It's good. I will go back and watch more of it. Maybe we'll have some more to talk about.
Wonderful.
On the next one.
And I'm 100% positive they're going to find her not guilty. 100%. Even if you saw the pictures, stop it. There's nothing there. Yeah.
But that lawyer sucks.
Incredible.
All right. So next week we're going to be talking about the Bachelor in Paradise finale. Maybe a couple other tidbits that are popping up, and we'll have some new true crime story time that we'll surprise you with next week.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for doing a podcast with me, Keeley.
I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.